Good morning everyone, and welcome to our session on Understanding and Preventing Fraud, Causes, Impacts, and Controls. Today, we'll delve into a comprehensive look at how financial pressures and behavioral factors contribute to fraudulent activities, and explore effective organizational strategies to combat and prevent fraud. I'm excited to guide you through these important insights that are crucial for safeguarding our organizations and maintaining integrity. Let's dive in. Fraud is essentially about intentional deception designed to secure an unfair or illegal benefit. It's not just a minor issue, it poses serious risks. Organizations, individuals, and even the broader economy can suffer from financial losses, reputational damage, and a loss of trust when fraud occurs. That's why it's crucial to truly understand what drives fraud in the first place. By grasping these root causes, we can better prevent fraud from happening and catch it early when it does. With this knowledge, organizations can put in place specific controls that directly address their vulnerabilities, making it much harder for fraud to take hold. Financial hardship is often a key factor that drives people toward fraudulent behavior. When someone is struggling with personal debts, unexpected expenses, or broader economic difficulties, the pressure to find quick financial relief can become overwhelming. In these situations, individuals might view fraud as a way to solve their immediate money problems, especially if they don't have access to legitimate options for support. Understanding this motivator is crucial because it highlights the need for addressing the root causes of financial stress to help prevent fraud. When internal controls are weak, inconsistent, or completely missing, it creates an environment where fraud can occur much more easily. This is a critical point because strong internal controls act as a first line of defense against fraudulent activities. Now, the opportunities for fraud often stem from several key weaknesses. These include inadequate supervision, poor segregation of duties, ineffective audits, and a lack of transparency within processes. Without these controls in place, it becomes easier for someone to take advantage of the system. When oversight fails, it opens the door for individuals to exploit these gaps. Simply put, if there is no one watching closely or if the roles and responsibilities aren't clearly separated, it's easier for fraud to happen unnoticed. And finally, the perception of low risk plays a big role. If people believe there's little chance they'll be caught or face consequences, they're more likely to take the risk and commit fraud. So, ensuring strong controls and thorough oversight is essential to minimizing these opportunities. When people commit fraud, they often struggle with the conflict between their actions and their own sense of right and wrong. To reconcile this, they create mental justifications. These are ways they tell themselves that what they're doing is acceptable, even if deep down it's not. Some of the most common rationalizations you might hear are things like, "It's only temporary," suggesting they'll pay it back someday, or, "I deserve this because I've worked hard," which frames the fraud as a kind of earned reward. Others convince themselves that no one is really harmed, downplaying the impact of their behavior. These mental justifications are powerful because they help reduce feelings of guilt and make it easier for individuals to see themselves in a positive light, even while engaging in unethical actions. Understanding these rationalizations is key to recognizing how fraud can persist despite personal moral standards. When we look at the psychological factors behind fraud, it's clear that these influences are central to why someone might decide to commit fraudulent acts. Greed is one of the most powerful drivers. It pushes individuals to seek financial gain beyond their actual needs. Alongside this, having a high tolerance for risk makes the possibility of getting caught seem less threatening, which lowers the barriers to committing fraud. Stress also plays a significant role. External pressures can cloud judgment and lead to poor decision-making. Finally, cognitive dissonance is a key concept here. This is the mental process that allows people to separate their fraudulent actions from their own ethical beliefs, making it easier for them to justify the behavior internally. All these psychological factors intertwine to create an environment where fraud becomes more likely. When we talk about the role of the social environment in fraud, workplace culture stands out as a critical factor. How people behave and what is considered acceptable within a team or organization can have a big impact on the likelihood of fraudulent activity. On one hand, cultures that either turn a blind eye to unethical behavior or create intense pressure to meet targets can unintentionally encourage fraud. These environments make it easier for misconduct to take root. On the other hand, positive cultural traits like open communication, strong ethical leadership, and holding peers accountable act as strong barriers against fraud. These elements foster a sense of integrity and responsibility. Peer pressure and group norms also play a key role. If the prevailing attitude among colleagues supports honesty and transparency, fraud is less likely to happen. But if the group norms tolerate or even expect cutting corners, that can enable fraudulent acts. Ultimately, whether the social environment helps prevent or contributes to fraud depends on whether it promotes ethical conduct or accepts misconduct as normal. Balancing these influences is essential for minimizing risk. When we look at real-world examples, asset misappropriation is by far the most common type of fraud, making up nearly 90% of all cases according to the Association of Certified Fraud Examiners. This is significant because it shows just how widespread this problem is. One of the main reasons fraud occurs is due to financial pressures faced by individuals, combined with weak internal controls that fail to prevent or detect these actions. Additionally, many employees who commit fraud often justify their behavior as a form of rightful compensation or see it as a temporary loan they intend to repay. Understanding these behavioral and environmental factors is crucial. It helps organizations not only identify potential risks but also design more effective strategies to prevent fraud in the first place. Fraud typically arises when several factors come together: financial need, opportunities to commit fraud, justifications the individual makes, psychological pressures, and social influences all play a role. To effectively prevent fraud, we need a comprehensive approach that tackles each of these elements. This means strengthening internal controls to close off opportunities for fraud, building a strong ethical culture that promotes honesty and reduces acceptance of dishonest behavior, and providing support to individuals who may be under pressure, as this can help prevent the rationalizations that often lead people to commit fraud. By addressing these areas consistently, organizations can create a much stronger defense against fraudulent activities.